Okay, so I'm back to the workbench. I took the cam out for the umpteenth time, and I really inspected it this time, and I found some things. So first of all, this is the spring that we're relying on. This tiny little guy. Gotta love it. Um, but other than that, I looked in here. This is the decompression unit. So this is your counterweight, and basically it moves like this on the camshaft depending on the RPM. And there was a little bit of scuzz in the bottom here, right in this shallow channel. But I don't think that was really the problem. What I think the problem was, rather, on this pin, the very top of it, we just have a little burr. Literally just that. I think is holding me up. I don't know how it got there. This thing must have just knocked something while it was sitting in a box for a while. And I had it in paper towels and stuff, but you know how it goes. Something must have just hit it. But I think, hopefully, Kiss of the File will solve this problem. That would be very, very nice. So I'm going to go do this. And I've looked at some other camshafts. I don't have any other camshafts, unfortunately. But I don't think that should be there. And I haven't seen it on pictures of other people's camshafts. It's just a very small... Yeah, it literally just looks like something kind of hit it and kind of peened it up a little bit and made a little burr. So I'm praying to God that this is what the issue has been, because this pin, basically the height of this pin, is what dictates how far out our decompression goes. So when we're idling, we're like this. And it's going to be hard to show you on camera. So that little extra bump, those two little extra bumps, are sticking up. And then, oh, that's nice because we don't have this on properly. And I'm trying to do this one-handed. Where are we supposed to be? Okay. So basically when we're idling, oh my gosh, almost dropped it. We're pushing up like this. The spring is pushing this up. And we're resting on this pin, on the top of this pin. I want to zoom in. And you can see we're actually literally resting on that little peened up portion. And then once we get up to speed, we drop down. Again, I wanted to zoom in. And you can see now we're no longer in the hole. And then up. And then running. Start, run, start, run. And this pin is controlling the height of the decompression, and basically how much that opens the exhaust valve. And so I thought about turning this, because I'm imagining this is a screw, and you get a pair of pliers and you very gingerly turn that. But this is also, at the same time, the head of this screw is a keyway that our decompression sits on up here. And basically it's the shelf that it sits on to keep it up until the centrifugal force moves it up. Can we get you to stand up, please? So we have it like this. And so now we're looking at the other side. So this is the bottom of the pin that we already looked at. Up here, can't even really see it. There it is. We sit on the top of that notch right there. It's kind of this is backwards. My bad. Again, doing this one-handed with the phone in the way of me looking at the actual thing. Okay. So you can see we use the slot, like the reverse slot of the top of the screw, as our shelf. that it sits on so that the weight of the valve spring doesn't push it down. And then once we're spinning, it goes like that. And the whole thing needs to rotate and then drop. And our spring is over here pushing this way. So the spring wants us to push up onto here. And so if you're having trouble with this, some places to look are this whole shaft, this whole camshaft here. Mine has some very, very minute burrs on it. Like you can see them. But I don't think that that's what's giving me the issue. But I am going to smooth that out just a little bit there. You can see that there's that whole little shelf that we might be getting stuck on, but I really don't think so. But just in case, and just to get really good operation, I'm going to smooth that out. And as you can see, there's the top of our shelf. And I also had a burr on that corner there, on the corner of this slot here. And so I already deburred that a little bit. And then moving over, you can see, again, we have some wear over here. But I don't really think that that is giving us any trouble, to be totally honest with you. This is the hole that the spring sits in. And you just want to inspect this whole entire thing. And then this is the other side of the pin where we are going to be filing. And then in here, so this is the top side. This slot, this shallow slot on your right is where the spring sits. This deeper middle slot is where the screw head sits. And you basically just all of these little shelves here with a very, very fine file. If you find a burr, just barely knock it off. And then all in here should obviously be nice and smooth. Same thing on the other side. And then down here is not super important, because down here we're mostly worried about the bottom of this pin. So that's what I found. Unfortunately, the service manual doesn't give us any hard info on any of this. It just says check its function, and if it works properly, assemble. And it doesn't say what to do if it doesn't work properly. It doesn't say how to troubleshoot it. You cannot find this part, this spring, or this as an individual part online at any kind of anywhere, literally, because Honda only sells the camshaft as a unit. The only thing you can buy separate here is the bearing. Very, very poor design. I'm amazed that these aren't having more issues, especially this far out, because I haven't found anybody that's run into this issue. And now what I'm thinking I'm having this problem for one of two reasons. Number one is it was the original spring in there, which this isn't the original spring. This is the one that I've put in myself. I'm thinking, firstly, it could have had this problem because, so this is an OEM cam, but I sent it out to Webcam, and they hard welded and reground it to a more aggressive profile. And what I'm thinking, they might have done one of two things. They might have done one of several things. Number one, they might have disassembled this and then just thrown the old spring back in, the old 15-year-old spring, which maybe it got damaged when they were putting it in, something stupid like that. I don't know. Maybe they didn't take it out and it got exposed to the heat of the hard welding and the grinding, which I doubt that happened. Maybe they took it out, put a new spring in, and the spring was poor quality, and that's why this one failed. If that was the case, though, you'd think you'd hear about that more. And I have never heard of one of these failing before, which is just astounding, because again, we're relying on that spring. And that's if the spring is what caused the failure. The other thing, this burr probably was probably incurred while this was out of the motor. I had it in a box of parts, and again, it was in a bunch of paper towels, but not really well protected, especially for the amount of time that it sat out of the motor. So several things could have occurred to make this fail, and I hope this helps somebody.